Hello, and welcome to Midnight Tales, a space where everyone can immerse themselves in peace and enchantment before drifting off to sleep. Tonight, we'll explore another captivating story that invites calm and lightness, helping you rest and recharge. But first, let's take a moment to gently prepare our bodies and minds for a soothing, restorative night's sleep. Make yourself comfortable, and with each slow inhale and long exhale, allow any cares from the day to slip away. It's not always easy to detach from the hustle and mental overload, especially before bed. However, remember this: the less we worry about how quickly we'll fall asleep, the easier it is for our minds to release any tension. Let the rhythm of your breathing carry away lingering worries, and let the story you're about to hear guide you into deep relaxation. Now, close your eyes and allow the magical atmosphere to softly envelop you. Enjoy the story, and may you find peaceful, restful sleep here on Midnight Tales. Picture this: the most exquisite sweep of shoreline imaginable. Find yourself settled upon sand like bleached silk, gazing outward where turquoise water kisses the horizon. A day of sheer glory unfolds. Sunlight, warm and liquid, spills from a pale cerulean sky, caressing your skin. From the ocean breathes a delectable breeze, tempering the air to perfection. The sea sighs against the white shore, a rhythm of profound calm, waves rising, waves falling. You could almost synchronize your breathing to their cadence. Inhale with the swell, exhale with the ebb. Your own breath a tide within your chest and belly. For heartbeat, close your eyes. Feel the zephyr drift across your face. The ocean's voice deepens with sight withheld, crystalline, quieting. Each successive wave seems to dissolve tension further, until a tranquility mirroring the vast water settles within you. Upon opening your eyes, a subtle shift tingles the air. Ahead lies the familiar turquoise expanse, sunlight splintering across its surface. Beneath, the same silken sand cradles your feet, yet a glance sideways reveals the unexpected. Beside you sits a magnificent gray elephant, dappled silver where the sun catches his hide. He seems entirely at ease, legs outstretched as if sunbathing. Zoos have offered glimpses, yes, but never this proximity. Never this aura of gentle companionship. He carries the grace of youth, perhaps a few feet shy of full stature. Tiny tusks, nascent and ivory, flank his trunk. Not a calf then, but not yet ancient. A scattering of bristly, chestnut-hued hair crowns his head, stirring in the breeze, much like the colossal ears just below. Those ears, vast and fan-like, mark him unmistakably African. His gaze meets yours, brimming with an intelligent kindness. Then, impossibly, his mouth opens and he speaks. Kalen, he names himself, your guide for this day. Though merely 10 years old, his entire existence has unfolded in this stunning corner of East Africa. It would be his honor, he conveys, voice as resonant and soothing as the ocean surf, to show you his cherished homeland, Tanzania, peaks that scrape the heavens like Kilimanjaro, national parks teeming with breathtaking life, and shores like this very one. The strangeness of conversing with this creature dissolves into pure magic. His deep affection for his land radiates from his words, promising an unparalleled journey. When he inquires if you'd care to ride upon his back, hesitation feels alien. You ascend, and there, upon the sand, your grand African adventure commences. Kalen's steps are measured, deliberate. His back, surprisingly, offers a comfortable perch. He ambles towards the ocean, preferring the soft splash and resistance of the shallows as he traces the coastline. Water murmurs against his powerful legs, a delightful percussion. High atop him, you remain perfectly dry, a passenger on a living raft navigating the gentle surf. This, Kalen explains, is the Indian Ocean, third largest on Earth. From this elevated vantage, its beauty deepens. You observe the shifting palette of the water, from bright blue-green turquoise near the shore to a profound peacock blue in the depths. Far out, the wooden hulls of dhows bob, their white triangular sails catching the breeze like resting wings. Sailing that vast blue must hold its own peace, yet contentment roots you firmly here on Kalen's back by the shore. The sand, fine as milled sugar, stretches endlessly ahead, punctuated by palm trees. Their slender branchless trunks culminate in crowns of fanning green fronds, leaning at whimsical angles, swaying as if they too are luxuriating in the sun. Nestled amongst and behind them, structures of varying sorts appear. Charming small lodges, built for beachside repose, boast dazzling white walls and sun-drenched patios dotted with loungers. Wooden chalets on stilts stand open for business, their bamboo shutters rolled up to invite the day. You drift past mini markets and eateries, surf shacks and snack bars. People populate this scene, moving through their hours. Some attend to shops and customers. Others recline on patios. Work or leisure, the pace remains unhurried, languid. Smiles are worn easily, universally. Kalen, it seems, is not alone in his devotion to this African haven. The salty tang of the ocean breeze envelops you, but as you progress, other, richer scents weave into the air. Kalen senses them too, his trunk lifting, questing hungrily. The local market, he murmurs, the next destination on your tour. He alters course, stepping from the shallows onto the dry, warm sand. From the distance drifts wondrous live music, the mellow strumming of guitars, and the soulful intonations of male voices. The rhythm is slow, hypnotic, perfectly attuned to the relaxed environs. It swells as you approach, mingling with a low hum of amiable chatter until the market itself materializes. A vibrant line of stalls, sheltered beneath a long canvas awning. Echoing the unhurried grace seen earlier, everyone here seems steeped in contentment. Vendors behind their stalls laugh and banter while showcasing their goods. Patrons wander, their steps falling into the music's easy beat. Some pause, inspecting wares, perhaps engaging in gentle negotiation. Others simply meander, nibbling snacks or sipping cool drinks. Food and beverage stalls abound, but Kalen has a particular one in mind. He proceeds down the market's central aisle, navigating between two facing rows of tables. A blessing, you reflect, that he is still young. A fully grown bull might struggle beneath the canvas roof. Even so, Kalen towers over the surrounding people. Yet, miraculously, no collisions occur. No undue fuss is made. Aside from the occasional friendly nod or wink, space seems to naturally open around him, as if an invisible current guides you both. Kalen halts before a table where a woman with a radiant smile presides over a large, round pan. She wears a traditional dress, a kanga vibrant with yellows and blues, patterned with the silhouettes of giraffes striding contentedly across a stylized landscape. Wooden bracelets clink on her arm as she stirs the pan's contents, food sizzling in warm, golden oil. The aroma is heavenly. She beams at Kalen, greeting him like a cherished friend, patting his flank as he explains your Tanzanian exploration. Amani is her name, you learn, and she cooks cassava. Superior to potato chips, she insists. The finest snacks available. And for a friend of Kalen, complimentary, of course. Amani scoops a portion of crisp cassava into a paper cone, adding a generous swirl of your preferred sauce. You hold it close, inhaling the fragrant steam as it cools slightly. The first bite confirms her claim. Delicious beyond expectation. Akin to potato chips, yet lighter, with a pleasing chewiness, tasting subtly of vegetable sweetness, almost dessert-like. While you savor your treat, Kalen partakes from a large bunch of bananas resting on the table, deftly curling his trunk around each fruit, conveying it to his mouth with appreciative, rumbling sounds. Soon, both bananas and cassava are gone. You both offer thanks to Amani, who invites you back any time, before continuing your market stroll. Variety flourishes here. No two stalls are identical. Everything imaginable seems present, from fragrant spices and handcrafted furniture to broad-brimmed hats and intricate jewelry. You spot enormous round cushions in a kaleidoscope of patterns, a massive wooden zebra carved and painted with startling realism. Canvas sacks overflow with beans for scooping. Vibrant oil paintings capture the local light. One stall presents towering piles of fabric, awaiting transformation into clothing. You recognize the very yellow and blue giraffe print adorning Amani. Perhaps she sourced her material right here, later stitching it into her elegant floor-length garment. Kalen pauses again, this time at a drink stall fronted by a chalkboard advertising freshly squeezed sugar cane juice. Like Amani, the proprietor greets Kalen with obvious delight, ruffling the bristly hair on his head before turning to you with a warm welcome. Jelani, he introduces himself. Hearing you are Kalen's guest exploring his country, he insists on providing a drink, free of charge. He selects a thick tube of raw golden sugarcane, somewhat resembling bamboo, but sturdier. Placing it between two heavy metal rollers, he cranks a wheel with his free hand. The cane feeds through, emerging flattened on the other side, while its sweet, syrupy essence drips down a metal slide. This nectar passes through a sieve, mingling with fresh ginger and lime juice. Jelani grins, stirring in crushed ice, assuring you it's the finest drink imaginable. He secures a lid, inserts a straw, and presents it. The cup feels cool against your palm. The liquid within glows a pale golden lime green. The taste is pure refreshment, tangy, bright, and wonderfully sweet, drawn directly from the heart of the cane. Kalen, evidently, shares your appreciation, though he prefers the fibrous cane itself. Jelani offers him a basket filled with the pressed golden stalks, adding a few uncrushed pieces for good measure. One by one, Kalen curls his trunk around them, conveying them to his mouth to chew with contented focus. This juice stall stands adjacent to the source of the enchanting music. A local band is playing. You sip your exquisite drink, absorbing the melodies. One man, seated between two others, coaxes gentle chords from his guitar. His voice rises in song, beautiful, soulful tunes that evoke an effortless smile. His bandmates join in harmony. Positioned in a gap between stalls, they stand on the sand, facing the ocean, seemingly serenading the waves themselves. Kylan leans closer, explaining the song's theme, the virtue of slowness. Matumwenye haraka, hukosa mambo matamu. He translates softly. A hasty person misses the sweetest things. He then leisurely returns to his basket of sugarcane, and you continue sipping your sweet, cool juice. Neither of you feels any urge to rush, content to linger in this perfect moment. When the basket and the cup are both empty, you offer sincere thanks to Jelani and bid him farewell. It's time, Kalen communicates, to leave the market's embrace. Refreshed by food and drink, he is ready to reveal more of his incredible homeland. Together, you depart. Kalen carrying you onward at his comfortable, easy gait, allowing you to relax and observe the shifting panorama. Beneath Kalen's broad feet, sand gives way to pavement. Roads appear, carrying cars, buses, bicycles. Buildings rise around you. Old stone schools stand near long rows of shops, while further off, massive silver skyscrapers pierce the sky. You are passing through Dar es Salaam, Kalen informs you. Once a humble fishing village, it has blossomed into a vibrant, exciting metropolis, Tanzania's largest city, home to over 6 million souls. Yet, it doesn't feel overwhelming. It's as if you and Kalen move within a tranquil bubble, the city's pulse distant. His unhurried pace belies the vast distances covered by his immense stride. Before long, Dar es Salaam recedes, replaced by rolling grasslands stretching northward. Green dominates the landscape. Every conceivable shade paints the hills and plains, splashed across trees, plants, and bushes scattered wide. Kalen follows a well-worn path, an orangey-brown ribbon bisecting the green, compacted by the passage of countless animal feet and hooves. Silence deepens here, punctuated only by the constant melodic hum of birdsong. Some are true songbirds, sharing intricate tunes that echo the soulful singers back at the market. Kalen traverses a field bathed in golden light when a colossal mountain looms into view ahead. Recognition dawns even before he speaks its name, Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest peak. On this clear sunlit day, its presence is immense, a watchful guardian over the land. Its summit appears flattened from this distance, dusted with brilliant white snow. The roof of Africa, Kalen calls it. 19,000 feet tall, he adds, and not merely a mountain, but a dormant volcano. People journey from across the globe to ascend its slopes, but they're not alone in seeking its bounty. The Chaga people, Kalen explains, cultivate homes and gardens on the mountainside. tending beautiful crops, fed by streams descending from the snows above. They grow everything from bananas to coffee beans, consuming what they need, selling the surplus. This great mountain shelters wildlife too, monkeys chattering in the canopy, watchful ravens, elusive two-horned chameleons are but a few species, thriving within the miles of misty rainforest clothing its flanks. Most animals, however, inhabit the lower reaches, around the mountain's broad base. Kalen's own family resides here, contentedly, he says, counting myriad wondrous creatures as neighbors. You need not rely solely on his word. As you draw nearer the sprawling, snow-capped giant, the diversity of life becomes apparent. 2 rhinoceroses appear, an adult and a calf. The youngster cavorts in a muddy wallow, rolling onto its back with joyous abandon, legs kicking skyward, while its parent graces patiently on a large fruit bush nearby. A dazzle of zebras crops the grass, their black and white stripes startlingly vivid in the sunlight. One lies relaxed, soaking in the warmth. And then, to your delight, a trio of giraffes drifts across the plains, their patterned hides, a stunning mosaic of yellow and brown splotches, recalling the fabric of Amani's dress. You watch as they approach a massive, emerald-leafed tree, extending their long, graceful necks to browse the highest leaves. Kalen knows these elegant creatures. He emits a low rumble, a greeting as you pass. They pause their feeding, acknowledging him, welcoming you to their beautiful homeland. The giraffes, it seems, possess the same gentle spirit as the people. Small wonder Kalen cherishes this place. One giraffe communicates to Kalen that his herd was seen heading towards the local watering hole. Thanking them warmly, Kalen lifts his trunk high, unleashing a magnificent trumpeting call, announcing his imminent arrival to his family. Seconds later, answering trumpets echo across the land, a deep, resonant vibration. Kalen is already moving towards the sound, anticipation in his stride, eager for you to meet his kin. Soon, the herd comes into view, a slow-moving river of silvery gray against the green. 10 elephants in total, you count, walking in disciplined single file. As anticipated, the adults are immense. The leader must stand 10 feet tall at the shoulder. Bringing up the rear is an elephant not much larger than Kalen himself. This, you realize, is his mother. She turns as you approach the line, rubbing her trunk affectionately across Kalen's head, clearly pleased to see her son and welcoming you with gentle eyes. She waits for Kalen to take his place in the procession, then falls in behind him. Together, you move onward. The watering hole is not far, yet a pleasant weariness begins to settle over you. Your body relaxes against Kalen's sturdy, comfortable back, and you find yourself listing slightly, like one of the leaning palms on the distant beach. Kalen's mother must notice. You feel the gentle, firm pressure of her trunk against your back, a living support preventing a tumble. She maintains this steadying presence all the way to the water's edge before carefully helping you dismount. You murmur thanks to her as she steps away to drink deeply. Turning to Kalen, you express the wonder of the day spent in Tanzania. He has been an extraordinary guide, the most amiable elephant imaginable. he responds with a soft rub of his trunk across your hair, assuring you of your welcome any time. You are, he conveys, part of the herd now. Family. He guides you towards a sprawling wild fig tree. You settle in its shade, leaning against a sturdy trunk, watching the elephants congregate around the large pool. Some drink thirstily, others splash water over their backs or engage in gentle play. One simply wades through the shallows, sending ripples dancing across the surface. Closing your eyes, you breathe deeply of the clean air, fragrant with grass, earth, and the damp scent of mud, all strangely comforting. The sounds of the watering hole, soft splashes, low rumbles, contented sighs, fill your ears. A smile touches your lips as you think of your newfound friends, elephant and human alike. Almost imperceptibly, drowsiness claims you. Your extraordinary day concludes much as it began, enveloped by the tranquil sounds of lapping water in beautiful, magical Tanzania. Let your breath settle into its quiet rhythm, the image of your peaceful haven dissolving like mist, replaced now by the vast cerulean expanse off Australia's coast. Sunlight, molten gold, cascades down as you find yourself seated in a motor launch, carving a slow path toward a diminutive isle, crowned with palms and thick emerald foliage. The gentle percussion of waves against the hull accompanies the thrumming engine, a sea breeze kissing your skin. Looming in the distance, piercing the verdant canopy, stands a tall alabaster structure, the Sentinel Lighthouse of Asher Cay. Here, our narrative unfurls. The small launch, christened the Sea Sprite, advances purposefully toward the island sanctuary. Its skipper, Silas, calls Azure Cay. As the shore draws near, he cuts the engine. The vessel's momentum wanes. In the ensuing quietude, the waves themselves seem to hush, murmuring softly against the boat's white fiberglass flank. Peering over the gunwale into the translucent depths reveals immense, swirling shoals of minuscule fish, their collective movement casting fleeting umbral patterns across the pale umber sand below. Ahead, the island presents its miniature forest, fragrant palms mingling with native gum trees. Their leaves stir and whisper in the breeze, dispatching a delicate perfume across the water to greet you. Rising starkly from this undulating green is the white lighthouse. Its steadfast stillness offers a profound counterpoint to the kinetic energy of the natural world, where shimmering leaves echo the water's ceaseless ripple. The rustling foliage sounds like soft applause, a welcoming ovation to this small yet captivating shard of land. Drifting closer, the coastline's palette unfolds. Sun-bleached sand glows through the transparent shallows. Further out, the clarity surrenders to the shifting greens and profound blues of the deeper ocean, stretching uninterrupted toward the horizon, where the water dissolves into the pale wash of the sky. With barely a whisper, the Sea Sprite glides alongside a weathered wooden pier. You step onto the time-worn planks, poised for discovery. Silas offers a parting wave. He intends to fish, promising his return, before the day concludes. The pier delivers you onto a ribbon of incandescent white beach encircling the entire quay. Leaving the wooden walkway, you traverse the sand into a shaded clearing. Here, beneath the cool canopy of towering trees, stands a horseshoe arrangement of huts and cabins, simple havens for visitors lingering longer. Running a hand over the smooth wall of one cabin reveals a subtle pattern of tiny grooves, an artisan's mimicry of the offshore swells. Beyond the main structure, a cluster of leafy trees screens the base of the Azure Cay Lighthouse. This edifice, the island's focal point and the purpose of your pilgrimage, beckons, yet the allure of the surrounding nature prompts a preliminary exploration. To one side, a weathered signboard imparts tales of the local fauna. A quick scan reveals that the creatures inhabiting this isle are descendants of generations past. Some braved the swim from the mainland. Others arrived through migratory tides across the years. Gradually, they forged their own distinct community here on Azure Cay. Commencing your circumnavigation, you draw in the island's unique perfume, a blend of resinous palm, the briny tang of salt water, the very essence of a flawless day by the sea. The path curves gently, soon hiding the pier from view. After a time, the tranquil water invites a swim. Distant reefs shield the island, rendering the nearshore waters calm, almost seductive. Slipping off your shoes, you wade in until the cool sea embraces your legs, then surrender your whole body to its refreshing clasp. For a while, you simply glide, then float weightlessly on your back, rocked by the gentle current. The midday sun burns bright and potent. You close your eyes against its glare, cradled by the water, coolness seeping into your back while the sun warms your face. The only sound is the quiet liquid murmur surrounding you. After these moments of repose, feeling profoundly relaxed, you're ready to proceed. Wading ashore, you retrieve your shoes and cross the sand to find a narrow, well-trodden path meandering through palms and coconut trees. Fallen fruit litters the ground. You stoop to pick up a coconut, noting the coarse texture of its husk against your palm. It feels heavy, ripe. Returning to the beach, where small rocks lie, scattered in haphazard arrangements, you strike the coconut against a jagged edge. It cracks, releasing a fountain of juice that sparkles in the sunlight. Tilting the fractured shell above you, you let the liquid cascade into your mouth. Fresh, sweet, instantly revitalizing. Once drained, you use the rock again to split the shell cleanly into halves, then quarters. 4 crescent moons of white flesh gleaming on the sand. One by one, you lift the pieces and savor the delicious meat. Crisp yet tender, surprisingly juicy, releasing a sweet tropical fragrance into the air. Nourished, you continue your walk amongst the trees. A low, resonant buzzing emanates from a nearby palm. Soon, you locate its source, a beehive, curiously pineapple-shaped, suspended from a branch. Its weight causes the palm to lean slightly, creaking softly. Giving the hive a respectful distance, you press on through long, reedy grass until the path yields once more to the beach. The sandy perimeter stretches unbroken around the island, leading back eventually to the main pier. You stroll along the shore until the tall stone structure that lends the island its renown comes fully into view. At last, you stand before the Azure Cay Lighthouse. Its entrance stands open, a grand pair of double doors, painted a striking crimson. The lighthouse walls are flawlessly smooth, curving skyward. Midway up, tall, ledged windows punctuate the stone, perhaps 10 meters high. Above these sits a viewing deck, and crowning the entire structure is the immense lantern, capped by a roof that seems diminutive by comparison, like a jaunty hat. You step inside, into a compact entrance hall bathed in sunlight, filtering through high windows. The space is dominated by a colossal spiral staircase clinging to the circular walls. At ground level, the lighthouse feels hushed, still, and faintly damp. The walls are immensely thick, built to withstand formidable winds. Furnishings are sparse, merely 2 plush armchairs. Black and white tiles form a stark geometric pattern underfoot, while the white painted staircase boasts an ornate wrought iron banister. Beginning the ascent, your footsteps echo in the cylindrical chamber. At the first landing, you pause, catching your breath, inhaling deeply, then slowly exhaling. Even here, cocooned within stone, the scent of the ocean persists, carried on the breeze. A chair rests near the window. You sink into it for a moment. Leaning back, you gaze out. Beyond the fringe of palms, the ocean glitters, an endless blue tapestry. Rested, you rise, determined to reach the summit. The staircase narrows as it climbs, illuminated now by glorious shafts of sunlight pouring through the upper windows. Finally, you mount the last step. You find yourself in a bright, slope-walled room. Your attention is immediately captured by a beautiful mosaic adorning one wall. Moving closer, you discern the image. A green lizard, lounging contentedly in the shade of a coconut palm. Perhaps it's merely fancy, but the lizard appears to be smiling. Across the room, an open doorway leads out onto the viewing deck. You step through it into the brilliant light. Suspended 20 meters above the ground, it feels akin to floating in the sky. The panorama is utterly arresting. Azure Cay is an emerald jewel set in an infinite ocean. Near the shore, the coral reef appears as a dark blue smudge against the aquamarine shallows. Deceptive, for up close, you know it resembles a submerged rainbow forest, teeming with vibrant fish of every size. This reef, of course, is the lighthouse's raison d'etre. Your gaze shifts from the magnificent vista to a sign affixed to the railing. You begin to read. A century ago, Azure Cay was uncharted territory, its existence largely unknown until the tragic disappearance of a grand merchant vessel. Years later, a search party stumbled upon the wreck, impaled on the treacherous coral reef. An explorer spotted the hull breaching the surface like an iceberg near this small island. For decades, the wreck remained undisturbed by humans, becoming a haven for wildlife. Herons, kites, and other seabirds nested amongst its decaying structures. Then, one day, the last visible part of the hull succumbed to the waves, vanishing completely beneath the surface. Now, the shipwreck rests near the reef, just off Azure Cay's coast. a silent monument attracting divers. As you finish reading, a presence nearby makes itself known. Turning, you see a man clad in a flannel shirt and jeans. His expression is open, welcoming. He introduces himself as Elias, the lighthouse keeper, extending a hand. You grasp it, noticing the dry, leathery texture of his skin, weathered by sun and toil. Curiosity stirs about the solitary life of a keeper, the nature of his duties. Elias walks to the opposite side of the lookout, beckoning you to follow. A slender steel ladder ascends toward the gigantic lantern above. Climbing, you feel the fine powder of rust coating your fingers. Elias has already scaled the 20 rungs to the platform supporting the light. Reaching the top, you see a small doorway set into the stone base directly beneath the lamp. This leads to the keeper's private quarters. He invites you inside. The ceiling is low, the room surprisingly dim. It contains a small bed, a battered chest of drawers, and a precarious stack of books. Inhaling, you register the pervasive salty tang that saturates the air. The scent of the sea, omnipresent in the muted light. Elias moves to the far side and opens a hatch in the low ceiling. With practiced ease, he ascends the ladder dangling down, calling for you to follow. Climbing after him, you emerge right beside the massive light mechanism. The array of bulbs creates a shimmering, almost liquid effect. Sunlight glances off the complex reflective dish behind them. Peering into the great lens, you see a beautiful, fragmented distortion of the world, an abstract composition of your own face interspersed with patches of sky and sea. The lamp itself radiates a dazzling, silvery brilliance. You find a chair nearby and sit, watching Elias, curious. He busies himself beneath the light, manipulating wires, employing specialized tools. His movements generate a slow, metallic rhythm. A steady beat you find yourself unconsciously breathing along with. It seems Elias has forgotten your presence, but then he looks up, a smile touching his lips as he registers your fascination. Let me tell you how things work around here, he offers, his voice soft, mellow. You listen intently as he begins. There are 2 of us keepers, myself and Finn. We work 2 weeks on, then get 2 weeks ashore. He'll arrive early tomorrow with the boat, bringing supplies. We'll spend the day catching up, maybe play some cards, share a meal. I'll head back to the mainland in the evening. My routine these days? I sleep from about 5 in the morning till noon. He gestures vaguely. Then I might swim, cook, read a bit. Afternoons are for maintenance, any jobs needing attention. A wistful look enters his eyes. Sunset is spectacular here. You should stay for it. Once darkness falls, it's show time. I switch on the light, check the logs for planned voyages, monitor the radio, just ensuring everything runs smoothly. That's a job well done, as I see it. While Elias speaks, your gaze drifts to the window. Sunset is indeed approaching. The sun hangs just above the water, poised as if for a final plunge. Wispy clouds trail behind it, drifting lazily along the horizon. Glancing back at Elias, you notice he's bent over, focused on something in his lap. Moving closer, you see he's drawing, sketching a small parakeet in flight amidst palm fronds. He explains that sketching helps pass the time during his shifts. He offers to show you more of his work. Descending briefly into his cabin via the hatch, he reappears moments later, holding 2 crisp sheets of paper. The drawings possess a simple beauty. One, stark in black and white, captures a sea snake, its sinuous form elegantly rendered as it glides into deeper water. The intricate detail on its striped body sparks a memory. You've seen postcards with this distinctive style in mainland souvenir shops. When you mention this, Elias nods, pleased. They are indeed his creations, he confirms. The second drawing, softly shaded with colored pencils, evokes a warm, convivial atmosphere. Happy tourists dine outdoors on vibrant orange fish and coconut curry, while Silas, the boatman from your arrival, grins, strumming a guitar for their entertainment. Elias then gestures toward the window. The sun is now kissing the ocean's surface. Half submerged, its reflection on the shimmering water creates the illusion of a perfect, fiery orb. The sky is ablaze, a watercolor masterpiece of orange and rose bleeding into violet. You watch, mesmerized, as the sun sinks lower, finally vanishing beneath the waves, leaving only lingering streaks of light. Looking at Elias, you're struck by his expression, a quiet smile, the skin around his eyes crinkling. Perhaps it's gratitude, you think, for the daily privilege of witnessing such splendor. With the sun gone, it's time for the keeper's primary task. A sense of anticipation fills the air. Elias moves to the back of the lamp mechanism. He pulls 4 distinct levers, activating each section of the light. Reaching down, he flips another switch on the mount. With a low hum, the great lamp begins its slow, deliberate rotation. From this high vantage, you witness the perfect arc of its intense beam sweeping across the water, pinpointing the hazardous reef, searching the darkening sea for approaching vessels. You realize your time on Azure Cay is drawing to a close. Silas might already be waiting at the pier. You shake Elias's hand again, thanking him for an unforgettable day. Then, you carefully descend the cool steel ladder back to the viewing deck. One final look absorbs the panorama, now transformed into a tranquil, starlit tableau. The ocean breathes softly below, and a gentle breeze seems to whisper good night. Returning to the stone tower, you begin the long, careful descent down the spiraling staircase, step by cautious step. Pausing occasionally, you peer through the narrow slit windows, catching fragmented glimpses of the night view. Emerging from the lighthouse, you head towards the beach to find Silas. The night air carries a different perfume now. The island's bright tropical scents have yielded to a deeper, earthier fragrance, the aroma of lush, nocturnal vegetation. Reaching the beach, you see that Silas, while waiting, has strung a hammock between 2 palms and succumbed to sleep. The hammock sways gently, mirroring the rhythmic bobbing of the sea sprite tethered nearby. He looks so utterly peaceful. You haven't the heart to wake him just yet. Perhaps a brief rest is in order before the journey back. You lie down on the cool, soft sand, gazing up at the immense canopy of stars. Above, the lighthouse beam performs its periodic sweep across the heavens, a hypnotic pendulum of light against the infinite dark. Back and forth it moves, across the sky, across the stars. Closing your eyes, you take a deep, slow breath, feeling the day's wonder settle within you. You exhale completely. It is time to rest now, perhaps to dream of this perfect day on Azure K,